Okay, y'all, so let's talk about it. Top of the morning. So I watched an interview with Claressa Shields and Ariel Hawani, and pretty much in this interview, Claressa Shields was, she was shooting certain stupid questions down with answers of like just where the interviewer she used their common sense, and I feel like either you just shut a question down, you don't answer like either you don't answer it at all, or you answer it properly. And in this situation, these type of situations with Claressa, right? Claressa, I know she gets irritated when people ask the same questions over and over, especially when we know these guys for the most part watch each other's interviews. That's how they know about the news. Otherwise, they wouldn't know to ask these questions. So they know. But everybody just want to have an interview. They all have similar titles, so the YouTube algorithm and whatever else platform they on, it will push that to where everybody's videos are popping up. So people go on your channel. You have subscribers that watch other channels. They don't watch just your channel, and so they'll come back on your channel and tell you that such and such said X, Y, Z, or did you see the interview with this person, that person? So they know. But particularly with her, when it comes to you know Alicia Baumgardner and Jake Paul situation, where when he asked about Alicia Baumgardner, she said, "I don't know her. Who is she?" Right? She don't want to talk about her, and she basically, like she said, because what he was saying was he wasn't trying to be disrespectful or anything. He just never heard her side of the story. Which yeah, you have heard her side. You just don't have it on your video on your platform. But anyway, she didn't really revisit it. She answered him, but with the correct, put like this, the response that was really, like I said, it should be common sense to the person asking. But she said, I don't think that we shouldn't be talking about a person that's not in my weight class, that's not willing to come up and not even willing at least to come to 154, but just keeps talking, using my name for clout, right? We already know that her management team already contacted Alicia Baumgardner's management team. He made it known several times already. In the boxing ring, he made it known. Post conference, he made it known. At press conference, so it's known that, man, listen, they're just talking. And if you notice something, right? Nobody's indulging in anything that Baumgartner says from her team. Everything is just her talking, her saying things, but where's everybody else? So it's more like, all right, I'm not getting in that because this isn't professional. This is just emotional stuff and just talking that this is not going to get anybody anywhere. They're not involved in that. So if you look at it, when it comes to her and making all these claims, and like I said, man, she should be trying to fight people her weight classes that that's worth a damn, because the people she's been fighting, they haven't been worth a damn. They haven't been worth a damn. Let's just say it like it is. And it's one thing to give a fighter credit and say, I think a person can beat this person or that person, but let me say this also. They may have the skill set. Sometimes they don't have the toughness, though. They can dish it out, but they can't take it. We don't know that Alicia Baumgardner can take it because you understand what I'm saying? Like, for example, the eye test, skill for skill. I think that she can beat Amanda Serrano. I see no reason why she can't. But there's also a possibility that she can outbox. So I definitely feel like she can outbox her. But there's also a possibility, though, where, let's say, for example, certain mistakes Baumgardner might make. Like one of the things she do in every fight, no matter how, even though she wins, she falls asleep. She just in fight get to that part where she'll throw a punch, land a shot, admire her work. She does that so often in fights, but she's like, sometimes she'll put herself in a position where she'll back up and just turn her head. Like she'll make certain mistakes that people might not always capitalize on. But let's just say it's possible Amanda can, because she's going to try to pressure her, right? But let's say Alicia cracks her, and she okay, I see she has power. But let's say she starts making subtle movements and doing things and just coming forward, trying, just not, and I don't mean recklessly. I mean just making her work more. And let's just say, for example, if Baumgardner gets hit with something, you know, that Amanda that she can't really avoid. Let's just say whether it's body shots or just the pressure, she starts getting tired. Maybe Amanda might be tougher. I'm not saying she is. I don't know that either. And we know her and Katie Taylor both said in that last fight, neither one of them wanted to go through the hell that they went through in the first two fights. That's why they decided to box and not go to war. And what did I tell you all about Serrano? I said the reason why Serrano is so stressed out, keep talking shit about the judges and wanting to try to persuade them to change their minds and in the fight if it's close again or whatever. Even if they felt that Katie Taylor won, in her mind it's more like she's saying that she thinks she won. Okay, fine, but the judges didn't. So at the end of the day, when she's saying that, I told you guys the problem with Amanda Serrano is because the best chance that she have, the only way that she can fight against Katie Taylor and make it a competitive fight is if she goes in there and fight the way she does, because she doesn't know how to box and try to pick a opponent apart, a quality opponent like that. She doesn't know how to do that. She basically just wants to go to war. She can, break down a lesser fighter, and we've seen that. I said if she tries to outbox Katie, that's where it's going to become a thing of you're trying to outbox a person that's actually better than you at boxing. So her best chance of getting a win is trying to press and hope that she can get the knockout. And that's why she was so adamant about saying what she was saying. She kept bringing up the first two fights. It's like, okay, she's stuck in the past. She keep bringing this up. It's not going to make anybody look at anything any different if it's the same type of fight. And it's like the same type of results. I mean, it is what it is. You got to go forward. Now, me saying that, she also might not. But see, the thing with Alicia Baumgardner, you've never seen her in a firefight. And this is what I'm saying. So even if, this is the point I was saying while I was making, even if Alicia catch her with something hard, Alicia is not a brawler like that. Alicia is going to get on her bicycle at some point, unless she can hit Amanda Serrano with something and like really hurt her. Okay, like really hurt her and make her like adamant, like okay, she's like reluctant to go in, and she don't really want to get hit like what happened with Katie. But you gotta understand, they were banging. We've never seen Alicia fight like that, and that may be the difference in the fight, is that Amanda's tougher, and whereas Baumgardner's trying to box and get on her bicycle and and maybe get desperate throwing shots that she normally wouldn't throw, because now she's in there with somebody that's just coming straight at her, and now she has to fight more. So I mean, things can happen in the fight, but what I'm saying is, if you look at things realistically, that's more of a possibility. Those two scenarios: either Alicia is gonna go in there, stick to her game plan, she's gonna be quicker on her feet, because Amanda Serrano just walks in a straight line. She does not have footwork. She doesn't sidestep doing anything. She just comes straight forward at you. She how Seagal was in his movies, or everything was just upper body, no legs at all. That's her. Everything she does is upstairs. And so when I'm looking at that, this is what I'm saying. Baumgardner, from what I'm seeing, I can't see how she or her trainers could look at Amanda fight and not see where they could easily capitalize on how to beat her. But at the same time, you got to have the ability. And when I look at Alicia, I said this from day one, she don't let her hands go enough. She throw one punch at a time. She'll throw a 1-2. Maybe once in a fight, she might throw a 3-piece. You understand? But basically, she just 1-1-2, and she just moves, and she tries to just be quicker. She'll throw that over, and she hops around, and she'll get out the way. But so what I'm saying, stylistically, it could end bad for her in that sense if she just can't keep Amanda off of her simply because brawling is not her thing. And you can't just assume that somebody can do something just because you want them to. Never seen her in a firefight. All right. I don't think the fight was going to happen anyway. I told you that. Nobody, first of all, Both of them had stipulations when they talked to when they made mentions about them fighting each other. Then all of a sudden I see pictures of Amanda Serrano all on the back, they hugging up and all, now they're buddies. Okay, whatever. So that's not happening. Katie Taylor has no reason to come down in weight. And Baumgardner's not willing to go up. That's not happening. 5 pounds up is a female named Caroline Dubois, who has more maturity than these people are older than her. I also saw an interview with Caroline Dubois. She said a whole lot of the same things I said. Even her canceling out the Serrano and Katie Taylor fights. I didn't see that happen either. And she also, like she said, I don't care anything about, her saying she could beat me or she thinks all that, she'll knock me out of it. But when you start talking about I'm not on your level and then you go fight lesser opponents, same things I've been saying. That's when you become a fraud. That's what makes you a fraud. I'm going to say that this person isn't on my level, but then I'm going to go fight people that this same person have defeated already. And then I have a weak ass resume. So it's like I said, we see that Alicia Baumgardner, she got some skill, but at the same time, man, we don't know how she's going to react in a tough fight. And some fighters just have it in them. They understand my best chances to go in there and try to get this person out of here. We don't know how they react when they start getting cracked with shots. So, just listening to her speak, I said, damn, Caroline has a brain in her head for real. Like none of this stuff is hard to see, but we got people that's old enough to be her father, grandfather, grandmother, and they're still talking like, they just, I feel like it's just for the cameras. Because sometimes when I hear people talk, I really have this, often I get this thought, you really can't be that dumb. Now, that all being said, with Claressa, the questions that he was asking her, I'm like, wow. But, all right. I guess in his mind, of course, he thought they were relevant questions, but there was a lot of stupid questions to me. I feel like all these people do the same thing. And I'm glad that not glad, but let's say it's a good thing she answered it, even just the way she did, because pretty much most of those questions, because this is what these interviewers do. They'll sit there and smile and tell you how much they admire you, blah, blah, blah. And then they'll ask you questions. They'll say things. The same people they're asking you about, they're going to interview them. We already know this. And they're going to sit there and say, well, Claressa Shields said blah, blah, blah. You know what's going to happen? The comment sections are going to be full of stupid-ass comments because they are not even acknowledging the fact that she's only answering questions that she was asked. And, for the most part, people just don't like to see people happy. They don't like to see them confident in themselves. They don't like to see certain people. And when it comes to Claressa Shields specifically, they want her to be stressed out, aggravated, upset, mad in her feelings. They want her to be a miserable person like they are. Do you know how low life you got to be? How much of a scumbag you got to be? Some of the comments that people leave sometimes, I'm just like, wow. Like, where did your parents fail you? For an example, on one of my other channels, somebody, this grown-ass, dumb-ass, grown-ass man made a comment. I'm looking like this. You have racism, hatred. Racism is hatred. Can't be racist and good. You have all this murder, child abduction, human trafficking, child molestation. You have all of these things. Countries going to war, famine. Inflation. These governing bodies just coming out, making it known. All this hatred in the world. This guy, I remember somebody representing the Republican Party. There's something I think earlier this month. He says the main goal for the Republican Party is to always put the Republican Party above the American citizens. I'm not shocked at that, but I'm like, wow. The fact that they're just bold and coming out their face saying these things openly, like they're not even trying to hide it anymore. And so with all of these things, since your goofy ass believe in praying, you believe in prayer, This motherfucker actually literally said, I pray, talking about professional wrestling, and he said, I pray for the day that the WWE puts AEW out of business. And I'm just like, you are a sad human being. Because as I said, all these things that, since you believe in prayer, you could actually put your imagination and your false, your imaginary friend that you're talking to use. Put that to use. But instead, you're praying that one company puts the other out of business. And I bet you say that you're a good human being. And also, you're rooting for a company that's affiliated with Donald Trump. And pretty much the same company that refused to acknowledge Black History Month, Juneteenth. Yeah. Because we know how this motherfucker feels about black people and people of color in general. Trump don't even care about white people. You understand? He don't even care about white people. Trump only cares about money and himself. This is the same president that stood here and on camera. I don't care about you. I only care about your vote. Oh, I don't care about, I don't even look at, consider America's financial situation and the country being in debt. No, I don't care. This same guy that has 34 felony accounts. Do you know if you had 34 felony accounts, you can't even vote, but this motherfucker can become president. You don't see what this country is. And, I'm sitting there going, damn, Claressa didn't dig into anything. And, let me say this about Caroline before I finish that, too. She split, I guess, with her trainer or something like that or whatever. And she's, so I'm not going to, go into that and all. But, I'm doing this and that and whatever. She had nothing to say. She didn't dig up no dirt, nothing. She just basically, she's doing what she's doing. Now she's a part of MVP or whatever. And, which also now Sky Nicholson, you got MVP doing work with Sky Sports and whatever, or whatever the hell. Wait, Sky? Which one is Matchroom? I think it's Matchroom, right? Eddie Hearn, Matchroom. I think it's Matchroom. But bottom line is, people like to ask questions and stir the pot because they're always, like I said, going to repeat what you said, and now that's going to stir a reaction. These people know what they're doing. So even with Ariel Helwani doing this interview, I'm looking at it like this. Man, if you're paying attention to what's going on in this world, one thing that you see is black people have no unity. Now, is that his fault? No. And there's so much racism out here, and this is like, it's like no matter what happens in America, black people just won't wake up. But it's always like, it's one thing when it's just two fighters that want to fight. Cool. But when people have personal issues, right? Personal issues, you should stay away from that. You really should stay away from that. And, when he asked her about fighting Alicia and said that, like, Jake Paul, whatever his involvement was, about saying, like, he said, but they reached out to you, right? Now, he knows this. This is my point. We already all know this. Yes, he's aware of it. And the thing with Jake Paul, when he tries to deny it, tries to act like they didn't reach out to Claressa, like she said, who don't want to work with the GOAT, right? Of course, you got, this is so arrogant. Oh, just shut up. These so-called men just talking. This is the thing. People like Ariel Helwani and anybody else can look and say, well, if you look at my comment sections or if you look at all these other videos, the majority of the people that's openly saying these bad things about Claressa are black people. And this is what I'm saying. And that's why you should too, just stay away. Don't try to stir nothing up. Just stay away from that. You already know the situation. But see, Jake Paul, even for him to say nobody likes Claressa, well, he definitely couldn't be talking about in terms of a crowd of people coming out to watch a fight because she sold way more tickets than Alicia Baumgardner. So you can't be sitting there. You can't possibly be talking about that. And all Jake Paul is trying not to say is he don't like her. Who cares? Now we got to be friends to beat each other's asses? Well, Caroline Dubois, she said she's scared to fight me. I believe she's a coward to fight me because if she loses to Katie Taylor, they're going to say, well, she lost to an all-time women's great. If she loses to Serrano, they're going to say the same thing. But if she loses to me, what's the excuse going to be? And she's telling everybody I'm not on her level and all that. See, And I'm like, yeah, it's just common sense. And this is what I'm talking about. You don't need to jump on social media. You don't need to make a bunch of fake ass beef videos. No, just be honest. Just be real. Stupid people not going to catch on anyway. But you want to know what? Hypocrisy starts to catch up with people. And I told you, now that this whole, fake ass fantasy fight between Baumgardner and Shields has gotten to the point where people starting to really, I guess, really accept the fact that this fight was never supposed to happen. It was never gonna happen. At some point, people are gonna start turning on Baumgardner. I done told you already, and this is what I'm telling you. Let her talk the same crap about a pale skin fighter like she does Shields, and you will see how people really feel about her. And this country, as racist as it is, man, everything in this country is about divide and conquer. This is what gets me. You got black fighters that will go to a Cinco de Mayo event on Cinco de Mayo, and pretty much it's going to be Canelo fighting or whatever, or something where it's a majority Mexican card and all that. And I ain't got no problem with nobody's nationality, ethnicity, none of that. What I'm saying is they'll do that. When I'm saying none of these black folks, nobody in boxing, black or whoever, nobody, none of these powers that be have no interest in sitting down and saying, listen, Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, Jack Johnson, George Foreman, Larry Holmes, Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, Riddick Bowe, Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, Thomas Hearns. Like, you got black history has a rich boxing history. A rich boxing history. And in all honesty, facts, if not for those fighters I named, then it's a whole lot more. But if not for those fighters that I named, boxing wouldn't be where it is. It would not be where it is. So, great opponents that can make a great fight make each other great. So you combine everything, but nobody says we need to honor Black History Month. We need to honor Juneteenth. There's no reason that fights should not be put on. And we get to see these talented black fighters, win, lose, or draw, get the headline, main event put on. We get to see fighters that is on the come up. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody's doing that. But here in America, and like I said, I have no problem with nobody else's ethnicity and all that. I have a problem with individuals. But you want to sit here and tell us about Mexican fucking history. You want to fucking tell us about Filipinos and Japanese and everything else. But right here in the country we in, I'm talking when it comes to like sports, mixed martial arts, everything. Black people are even too stupid to look at Michael John White, Jim Kelly, Ron Van Cleef. They look at Billy Blanks. These motherfuckers out here getting mad at black people because they won't sit here and bow to Bruce Lee or Chuck Norris or anybody else. They'll give them their props, but because they don't put them on some pedestal, and these idiots, even black folks, have no unity is what I'm saying. Not only should that happen, but they need to clean up how they carry themselves. They need to clean this up. I mean, let's be real. All of this street beef, thug mentality, coming out with gangsters, rapping, running around, jumping up, doing fucking crip walking on, all of this stupid stuff is happening in basketball as well. You look at this, and what I'm saying is, most black people fail to be ambassadors of what they're doing. They fail to step up and say, this is how black people carry themselves. And it's not to prove nothing to the world. Everybody got some crap going on in their own ethnic groups and all that. Every country. But what I'm saying, you look at the behaviors. As long as black people are making some money, they don't care about other black people. And that's from these comedians, these actors, and everybody else that y'all sit up here and do this to. That's what y'all are doing. And I'm sitting there looking like two black women who are in this sport, not in the same weight class, And all of this comes out of, Alicia Baumgardner is the one that set it off. Let's just say it like it is. Back in the day, when we didn't get Ann Wolf and Layla, people was, oh, it was Layla's fault. No, it was Ann Wolf's fault. It was this one, it was that one. And this just went on and went on and went on. And through the ups and downs and how people felt about both of them fighters, it's amazing how when another generation comes along, all of a sudden people want to act like they love Layla so much. Nope, it's just because they hate Claressa. And Alicia Baumgardner used that opportunity as an opportunity to clout chase and call Claressa's name and try to get her face out there. If I speak against the one that people love to hate, that's going to give me more notoriety. Yeah, that's what she was thinking. What, and I'm saying it's like, literally, just think about it. What has Alicia Baumgardner done? Like, you can say, yeah, she got some skills. Yes, she do. I'm not saying anything to take away from her. I'm saying, what has she done? Against who? What has she done? And she's okay with just saying, oh, I would like to fight Amanda Serrano. Oh, I would like to fight Katie Taylor. What happened? What's going on? Why? And if they turned it down, why she's not jumping up, disrespecting them like she tried to do against Claressa? Why she ain't saying, you know, she claimed she threw that challenge out there that she wanted to fight against Claressa Shields, right? Really? When she got the piss slapped out of her, how old is Shannon Sharp? Like 60, right? Me. I just slapped the right back. I'm like, hear this mother. You understand what I'm saying, y'all? It's always the thing where when it comes to black people, this is why I said you got black people and you got niggas. Racist people want niggas. That's who they want to represent black people, niggas. And they want these niggas to go ahead and show out. That's why people are quick to talk about how much of a gentleman that Lomachenko was. Like, nah, y'all think because a motherfucker talk with a calm voice, there's gentleman my ass, the fuck out of here. Nobody trying to act, trying to be on our best behavior for y'all. No, that's not what we talking about. That's not what it is. I'm saying we gonna fight. This is a business. But you're not going, all that nigga, this and that nigga, you ain't on my level, nigga, this and that nigga. Right. And here's the thing, right? You know how people to this day love to bring up the fact that Bernard Hopkins said, I never let a white boy beat me, and then Joe Calzaghe beat him. They like the fact that Devin Haney made the same comment, right? But you know what I find really crazy? Because I know a lot of people racist off camera. But what I find crazy about that is, I remember a time Hector Camacho said, man, I beat all them niggas. Nobody called him racist. Nobody, nah. I've heard a bunch of ignorant comments. And imagine all these racist ass flat-nosed fighters that was calling Jack Johnson and them niggas and all that. Yeah, imagine. Y'all think they supposed to be heroes to, no, fuck them. We don't care about them either. And if you know me, you know I bow down to nobody. I don't care what color you are. But I'm saying, you notice how nobody is doing anything. So black people are content with just being a part of something that somebody else is putting together. The more y'all sit here and talk about Al Heyman and Floyd Mayweather, they broke and Floyd broke and point fingers and all this type of stuff, right? 50 Cent, all these rich motherfuckers, Jay-Z. They're not doing anything to try to strengthen anything in boxing for black fighters. Example, it doesn't bother me when I hear the term British boxing. It's a thing. It's something that exists. Okay, and pretty much when it happened, it's on British soil. But you see, everybody can label something with their nationality, with their flag, whatever. But here in America, people don't want to wake up. Racist America don't want to see black power. They don't want to see black unity. And when we say black power, that's what leads to the unity. Black power isn't like racist, this so-called white power. This is not, we want to take over the country. We want to take over the world. We want to bomb people and start wars. No, that's not what that means at all. And the problem is The black people either don't believe that it's possible, but you know what I'm saying, and the niggas they don't want any parts of that. So they don't want to be converted from being a nigga to a black man. Same like today, I seen this video. Dude sent me a link. He said, Aries, just check this out. And basically, it was a bunch of disgruntled black women in this video. Ain't no niggas ain't shit like real for real. Don't be telling these niggas you want to be in love with them and you want to marry them. Just be real, like buy me stuff, like shit, buy me stuff, right? And I'm just sitting here like, wow. And it's like I'm looking at children, man. A bitch you gotta have like 4, 5 men. You gotta have that one man, the one men's. I'm like, listen to this dumb bit, one men's. Bitch, if you're saying men, you don't have to put a fucking S at the end of it. It's already plural by you saying men, dumbass. You gotta have a means to one that's gonna be that freak in the bed. You gotta have your trick. You gotta have the one that's gonna love you and be with you and do for you. Then you gotta have the one that's gonna do things for you, you know, and always have a married man. Because if he married, then y'all both got something to lose. I'm like, look at all the energy that this dumb bitch put in to saying some dumb shit. And then they had about 12 different black women just talking about how niggas ain't shit and niggas. It's like, that's your problem. Y'all don't want black men. You want niggas, and you don't even want the niggas. You just want what the nigga has in his bank account. Why can't your bum ass buy yourself stuff? It's not a man's job to take care of you, right? And I'm sitting here listening to all this shit, right? Then I'm listening to everything that's going on like in the entertainment industry. Like I'm looking at what black people are doing. I'm looking at all the nonsense, and I've been, y'all know I drop videos on this stuff. But I'm sitting there and I'm just saying to myself, what people don't understand is that same mentality that you see, that's exactly what people within the boxing media is expecting. They're dependent on that. They're counting on that. So when I say, oh, did you hear about what Alicia Baumgardner, that's what they want, the reaction is, that bitch this and that, fuck that. That's what they want. They say something to Alicia, but well, I interviewed Claressa Shields and Claressa said, and then get a reaction from, that's what they want. That's why no matter what y'all say, it's a great thing that Claressa slapped the piss out of her. Maybe. It might not happen no time soon. Maybe one day something will happen to Alicia Baumgardner and she'll wake up from the bullshit. Maybe one day she'll look at that slap and realize, you know what? That slap should have actually woke me up. She didn't do nothing. I'll whoop your ass right now. Do it. Bitch, pop. Right. Threats, nothing behind it. Now you see how that could also play out in the ring. When you start getting hit way more than you expected to. Yeah, and all of a sudden, you realize you don't have it in you to have a dog fight. That could be the difference in you losing the fight because your opponent just wanted it more and they're tougher than you are. See, there's a lot of things that people can look at. But again, they call this dude Shannon Sharp Unk. Man, he don't act any more mature than these motherfuckers that's young enough to be his sons, grandsons. This is what I'm talking about. It's like people want to see the worst things happen at the expense of black people. So, Claressa didn't go into any detail about nothing, but like she said that Jake Paul is full of shit. And see, this is my thing, is y'all would sit here and overlook every screwed up, disrespectful, inappropriate act that someone does because you're more focused on the entertainment side of things. Well, you know what? If Claressa Shields, whatever her next fight is, in fact, she said she was there to support Caroline Dubois in her last fight. That's why she was over there in the UK, whatever. She's like, so basically, her coming to the ring had nothing to do with what's the chick name that came and they had a little face off and you could even see that even in the words. This is because she was there. That was some spirit of the moment thing. And that wasn't a fight that they negotiated on. And then like, all right, after the fight, I'm gonna come in the ring and we going. That was some spirit of the moment stuff, right? But she was in there in support of Caroline Dubois, right? She said that sometimes she like Caroline would say like, "You girl, you look great. You look like you like my size. You like girl, you like in shape like me. Like I'm like you look like you're in sparring shape, right?" And she said she like, "Are you like asking me for a sparring match?" Like laughing and joking. Like she said Caroline called her a lot, and Caroline, she if she asked for advice, she always there to give advice and stuff. And she her like a sister or whatever, right? Now check this out. Notice how she said that Caroline is like she says it like she's hinting at, hey, let's spar or whatever. She said that, well, eventually she'll spar. She'd love to or whatever. But you see, it's called respect. It's called respect, not trying to talk subliminally, make some little sideways message. And then the first time that you hear about someone that you thought was cool with you claiming they want to fight you, all of a sudden is on a video or somebody calling you like, yo, you good with Alicia? Yeah, why you say that? Yo, you ain't see this video she did about you? That reminds me of Sugar Ray Leonard and Marvin Hagler situation. Sugar Ray Leonard played Marvin Hagler like a fucking instrument, man. And you know what? We didn't know these things back in the day, but when I did get wind of when Marv said what he did, in fact, Sugar Ray, matter of fact, it wasn't even Marv, it was Sugar Ray. Sugar Ray admitted what he did. And people thought that was genius. If y'all don't know, basically, Sugar Ray Leonard had a party at his house. He invited Marvin Hagler. So when Marv gets there, at this point, Marv is looking at Leonard like, he's a friend. They're good people, right? And so pretty much Marv is drinking. Now Sugar Ray's the one telling the story. So there's no he said, she said. He said, Marv, he had his drinking on. He's telling him like, yeah, man, like, I'm just thinking about retiring. Say, because I can't get the fights that I want. And, it's just like, I don't want this to become a waste of time to my health and all. Like, so Leonard said he pouring more drinks. And yeah, man. And now, all of a sudden they had a party. He's comforting Ray Leonard, just comforting him and, giving him an ear. And, so basically, Marvin Hagler leave there. And with Leonard telling him, man, I'm sure you'll make the best decision. And, yeah, man, and this and that. So let a little time go by. You jump in the ring. You get in shape. Marv is telling you that he's pretty much getting ready to retire. Not only then, but again. So this time is going on. And basically, Ray Leonard is making sure that he's in shape, get the jump on it. So now getting in fight shape is nothing. Like literally nothing. I'm already in great shape. So I'm doing everything now in terms of a full training camp, like with the sparring and everything. I'm here to, I get sharp but now I'm gonna have the edge on Marv, right? So I know Marv's lost his enthusiasm. He's ready to retire because he's not getting the fights. He keeps word, keeps up to what's going on. So Marv is informing him like, yeah, I'm just getting ready to retire. So one fucking day, Ray Leonard decides, yeah, without any negotiations, he never sat down with Marvin Hagler, nothing. I remember the interview. I'm here to announce that, I will be fighting Marvelous Marvin Hagler. I'm coming out of retirement to fight Marvelous Marvin Hagler. I remember that shit. And that's how Marv found out about it. That's how Marv found out about it. So now it's an emotional, what? I'm thinking it's my people. Okay, so yeah. And not to mention, see, if you're not training, and the great thing about Marv, because he was in great shape, so getting back in shape was no problem for him. As you can see, he went to 12 rounds with no problem. Ray Leonard, I give him credit because, like I said, he came out, no warm-ups, no nothing, but he came out, no tune-ups, and he jumped straight in there with Marv. But my point is the principle. So, throughout the years, I always felt like, damn, man, Marv acting salty because he lost the fight. And I do think he lost the fight. I let people, oh, man, he win shit. I'm just like, damn, man, why he acting like that? Because he lost a fight. But see, those details I did not know. when Ray said this shit, I said, damn, no wonder Marv was acting that way towards you. That's some dirty shit. No wonder. And I loved watching both of them. You know, I ain't want to see nobody beat Marv. I ain't want to see nobody beat Ray. But at the same time, it's like, that's some scumbag shit to do. That is some scumbag shit to do. You know, and that's just like a person need a fight, right? And then say somebody go, hey man, I was in the gym the other day. I was at such and such gym, and I seen such and such. Yo, he's not in fight shape, but he's a big name. You offer him that payday, he's gonna take it. And you get the beat on his ass. You know what that does for you? You understand what I mean? And now you can look at a fighter and go, well, he didn't like he was in shape or whatever, but hey, that's still a problem. You know what I mean? For that money, you took the fight. But is this some scumbag shit to do? Yeah, because that's what you call. Now that is a fluke win when somebody does that kind of shit. You know, and you got like you don't have a full training camp and you give them a deadline and it's like, damn, man, we know people done took fights in a week's notice, 2 weeks notice, you know, a month's notice. They didn't even have a full training camp and they wasn't even in shape at all. You understand what I mean? So that's what you call a fluke win. Now with Ray and Marv had a full training camp. Marv was just losing his enthusiasm, and Ray was trying to help him, coach him into getting further and further away from the sport, you know, and so that he had the advantage on him. Ray Leonard told the story. And I said, that was some scumbag shit, man. Because he could have said right then and there, hey, Marv, nah, me and you could do this. You know how much money we'd make? You know how much money we'd make? So friendship had nothing to do with it. This wasn't, I can't fight him because he's my friend. No. This, you know, is what Ray could have done. No, he's trying to catch Marv off his pivot so he got the advantage. Pretty much. That's scumbag shit. I remember some years ago, back in the day, this was Fade with the Jerry Curl top on Mike Tyson. He was being interviewed. And you know, this is why a lot of y'all be always sucking Mike Tyson's ass and acting like y'all know so much about Mike Tyson and whatever. I just remember these things happening. I'm not sitting up here glued to my TV praising these fucking people. But this is what I remember. He was being interviewed, and the interviewer asked, did he know Riddick Bowe? Yeah, I know Riddick Bowe. And he goes, would you fight Riddick Bowe? And he goes, he told him, he said, yeah, we went to school together and everything. I know. He's like, would you fight? He said, you know, no, I don't think I would. And he told him that they were good friends and this and that or whatever. And he says, and then, okay, so then, and if you fight it, I mean, you'd have to knock him out. You have to hurt him. He said, yeah, but also he has to, you know, try to hurt me and knock me out. And then the guy goes, well, so if you're good friends, why would you do that? That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, so he ruled that out. He didn't want to fight Riddick Bowe. Have you ever seen Riddick Bowe the entire time? You ever see him and Mike Tyson hanging out? Or Riddick Bowe talking about like they good friends and he wouldn't fight Mike Tyson? You never heard Riddick Bowe say that, right? You only heard Mike Tyson say it. And of course, the Mike Tyson nut huggers, I don't remember. Who cares what you remember? Y'all probably chew mushrooms and smoke. You don't remember nothing. Probably don't remember your goddamn name. Your mom walk in the house, you probably start screaming, get out of my house. I mean, the woman broke, calling 911. It's your mom, dumbass. Put the phone down. But that whole situation, you know, and he didn't need to go back and forth and all that. But I've never heard Riddick Bowe say no, he wouldn't fight Mike Tyson. I've never heard him say no. I only heard Mike Tyson say that shit. You know, him and Lennox Lewis was cool at one point on camp. You know, it's like you meet people and you're around them for a little bit, but like we don't hang out. I'm calling you, you calling me. I'm coming to your house, you come to my house, your family, you know my family. We're not like that. I remember you. I worked with you before. Nah, man, come on, man. But anyways, case in point, all those fighters have had, you know, at least they got in there. Whether they got their ass whooped or whether they won, whether it was whatever, but they got in there. And so my thing is this. For every time I hear all these black folks bragging about how rich they are, always bragging about their money, their mansions, and their Learjets and all that, and I look at the only people that's trying to do anything to make an event happen is these drug dealers, these businessmen / drug dealers / gangbangers, and like nothing is done legitimately. It's always the wrong people involved, And people say, well, it's a cutthroat business. Well, somebody need to be the difference maker, man. I'll give you an example of something, man. I'm gonna close this video. Um, this is something that for like I remember like I used to love going to like the independent like hip hop shows. It's just I like that smaller that like it's more of a like an intimate type like because everybody's around the stage and you get the you see everybody see you and I like to like really get into it. I did poetry, hip hop, all that shit. I would always and I supported those shows. I certain things like that I like to go to. I don't like going to like shows and concerts. I really don't. But like those type of shows, I was supporting those shows, and it was a better feel. It was a different feel. The crowd interaction was different. But I remember doing these hip hop shows, right? And I remember how everything was. And one day, and this is what happens when you start to travel or you come across something different. You gotta be traveling. Now you gotta be careful where you're traveling to. America's just too fucking racist. And these police, all of this bullshit. Just, it makes me think about when I went to Mexico and when we got off the plane back on American soil, and the cops were standing there, and as we was coming in through the turnstile, they looked at us and said, "Welcome home." Yeah. It's almost like it never actually happened. It's just like when I look at what the world is now, it's just like when I look at America now, I feel like that was just a dream. Like it never actually happened. Like I just dreamed it. That's how foreign that feels, hearing those words. And it happened. But you know what I'm saying? Is it just looking at now, it's just like, wow. Like, welcome home. This is home, huh? But anyway, so I go to this other show. Now, the female that invited me, she did poetry, and so I like to get the feel of where I'm at, the type of crowd that's there, because then I know which poems I'm going to do or what songs I'm going to do. Because I learned that when I went to DC, that they like that shit. What your mama gave y'all? They like that kind of shit. They like Planet Rock type shit. They like go-go. Now I like go-go music myself. They love go-go. So I'm like, damn. I got something for everybody in my music, but okay. So I like to let me go to the place first. So anyway, what happened was I go to the show. Now they would have like music, comedy, right? And poetry for the most part. Now a couple of times they had some dancers come out, and it was like they was doing like they'd come out and do their routines, but everything was respectful, everything was professional, everything was like the way they had the place designed, the city, like everything. It was a pleasant environment, man, and people just, you did what you did. You wasn't thinking about nothing, somebody gonna come in and start shooting or nothing, nobody in the crowd heckling, and everybody is just chilling, right? That's not the environment that I grew up in. That's not my introduction to the entertainment, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm just like, damn. Because every show that I did, yeah, nigga, yo, nigga, we about to rock this shit, to tear this shit up, nigga. What the fuck, nigga? We out here on the streets, nigga. And I'm just sitting here like, wow. You got no security or bouncers that they look high as hell. They just lack of professionalism. Plain and simple. We did this. I'm looking at this show, right? And I did a show with these people the next time, but I'm like, I see what type of, environment they. I'm like, cool, okay, so I know what to do. I always had multiple pieces, so I know what to do. But I'm sitting there like, damn, nobody cursed. Nobody said nigga. Nope, nobody's up here looking like they want to kill somebody. Nobody's rapping about murder, kill. All the songs are positive. Like, it's just a different environment. It's laid back. The crowd is into it, and they're respectful. Damn. So when I go back to what I'm used to seeing, it's just like, wow. Now, the thing is, I've never been a follower. But I noticed how what got me was the promoter of this one show back where, where I used to live. I told him one day, I said, man, you need to clean your act up. He's like, what you mean? Like, I said, bro, you need to structure your shows like I told you. And I said this to him before I even seen that. I didn't have to see that to have common sense, because, we've seen other things. But my point is, when you see it, it's usually on a bigger stage or in a school or something where they know they can't do it. But I'm saying it's something about when people get on there, especially with hip hop, man. It's like it's always just this nigga, nigga, nigga. I'm like, bro, they coming in smelling like weed. They coming in drunk as hell. You be having bouncers that be like, they don't even know how to talk to people. You got fights breaking out in the parking lot. I'm like, it's just like, bro, you scared that if you structure your shit and tighten up, that people gonna walk away. Are they up there because of their talents? Or are they up there just to, feel themselves and just talk shit? Because this right here is not a good look at all. And like when you call the place and say we want to, rent the place out. Okay, what exactly for? So we do hip hop. Click. Hello? Hello? You don't know how many times that doesn't happen to these guys. And that same person, he did a show and the club that he used, they shut it down because twice they had shootouts. And I remember when I seen him, it was a couple of years later, and he was like, yo, what's up, man? You talking? And he's like, man, so you still doing music and anything? I'm like, nah, that damn music shit. And he's just like, damn. He said, man, you told me too, man. I said, told you what? Then he brought it up, and he was like, man, and so he's talking. I'm looking at him. He said, hey, you don't know what happened? Am I supposed to know what happened? Then he told me what happened. I'm like, this is what I'm telling you. And I remember I had the little, my camcorder. Well, not the the big one with the damn VHS. You put it out. I said, come here. You went out. I said, let me show you. So I flipped the door open. And about 5 minutes, he's standing like, he just put his head down. He's like, yo, that's what I should have been damn doing, man. But this is what I'm saying. I've always watched how people like to do things the wrong way. And one of the dudes that was there, I didn't even recognize him at first till it was almost time to go. When he is like the host at shows in the hood, like at this show, they doing hip hop. They had like 3 hip hop acts. They had I think 6 people did poetry. And then they had 3 comedians. And nobody was heckling. Nobody was, they don't allow that shit. So, people, oh man, motherfucker, you can't be yourself, man. You can't. No, what? So all you want to do is go out and hang out to be ignorant. And that's pretty much what so many people do, if not most. And that's the problem. So they don't like structure. But this guy who was hosting the show, now check this out. He had on a black blazer. I think he had a white shirt, white pants, black, everything was, he came out suited up. He was sharp when he came out. He's like, so ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage is a group such and such from such and such an incident. Round of applause, everybody. For professional. That same dude, and I guess I didn't recognize him until we was about to leave. And he recognized me actually. And then after he spoke to me and I looked, then I recognized who he was. I'm used to seeing this motherfucker with his fucking pants around his fucking calf, right, the top of his knees and shit, hanging out, a long ass shirt wrapped around his fucking head like a turban, this arm through this sleeve, and this part all up here. Yo, nigga, coming to the motherfucking stage is my motherfucking name. And I'm just like, wow. So you do know how to be civilized. I didn't recognize, and this is what I'm saying. And when he saw him, he was like, this dirty motherfucker never even told, what the, and he ain't had nobody be mad at but himself, but that's what he said, I'm mad at myself, man. And I said, brother, you see, I didn't even recognize this motherfucker until he was leaving. I said, now you see how all of a sudden, he ain't nigga, he just sharp, played the part. They let him know, we ain't not having that shit here. Them motherfuckers had proper security outside. You understand what I'm saying? And they had proper security inside. That's what I'm talking about. And everybody was just chill. Nothing happened. Everybody left. Everybody, it's a cool venue, everything. And that's what you want to happen. I said that. I meant it, and it leads me to this point as well. Notice how, when it comes to boxing, all these combat sports, when it comes to boxing, though, notice how that ignorant behavior is always encouraged. And notice, All the white people standing around when Shakur and Keyshawn and all them nigga, fuck nigga, you ain't on my level, nigga, right? Yo, this nigga, yo, he tweaking, nigga, right? What do they be doing? They be standing smiling, grinning like this is funny. And you gonna say that shit's good for the sport? For who? Who? All the racists sitting there going, I hope somebody knock this big mouth nigga out. When they laughing at y'all fools, Richard Hitchinson and all that. I remember he was arguing. I think that was him. It might have been him and Keyshawn or him and Shakur. One of them. Somebody came in the comment section because it was nighttime, and somebody said it looked like the jacket floating in the air, and all I see is this motherfucker teeth, gums, and eyes. Man, that one comment had at the time 479 thumbs up and likes. People LOL, and they just all the black jokes are, and I'm just like, look at this dumbass motherfucker though. Do you understand what I'm saying? You can't even defend a motherfucker like that. Fuck these racists. Fuck them. But and it don't justify nothing that they do. Like I said, I see white folks and everybody doing all types of dumb shit and rotten shit. But I'm saying, even people calling you a black, dumb, crispy nigga, all that, none of that shit wakes you up. Nothing that happens will make these motherfuckers look and go, you know what, man, I gotta clean my act up, man. What the fuck am I doing? I'm not helping my people. I'm hurting. I was actually proud of Claressa in this interview, at least for the fact of her not going into let's just, she know. I don't give a fuck about Ariel Helwani saying he's not trying to stir up nothing, but man, already know when there's tension there, two people don't get along. Why the fuck do y'all just want to keep asking the same dumbass questions? But she didn't go into that shit. And she directed her energy towards Jake Paul for the, stupid comments he made. But, that's my thing. You want to interview me, talk to me. I don't give a fuck what nobody said to you. They're not man enough to come and say it to me, right? Okay, so why are we? What are we doing? I don't care what nobody said. That's not what I'm here for. There's better things, more productive things to talk about, but that's the world we live in. And especially when it comes to black people, these non-blacks are depending on that type of shit. The niggas are dependent on that type of shit. I'm going to say something, tell him what this nigga said, he going to flip out. He going to give me a great interview. And then they going to type in, Claressa Shields crashes out over, Alicia Baumgardner comment. Because notice, and this is what I said about Ariel when I looked at it. I'm like, now, Ariel, this is on his channel. Now I'm saying, now you said you don't mean no harm, but think about it. She ain't crash out on no damn Alicia Baumgardner. She ain't crash out on her. She didn't crash out, period. But the only person that she actually had some words for was Jake Paul. Why you didn't put she crashed? First of all, you shouldn't even use the term crash out because she didn't crash out at all. But she didn't even direct nothing like going at Baumgardner, like insulting her. And she's telling the fucking truth. Like she said, I don't think somebody that's not in my weight class that's not willing to go up to at least 154 shouldn't be talking to me or about me. We shouldn't even be talking about that person. She didn't bring it. Like I said, Claressa never bring these people up. A whole lot of people don't bring up certain people. It's the interviews. But I feel like she was prepared, like, okay, in case he asked me something stupid. Because pretty much this is what they all do. Anyways, that behavior is always encouraged, but black people got to wake up. And these N-words, yeah, they that's what they're proud of being. And this is what and why they encourage that. They don't come to Lomachenko. Do you see Lomachenko being interviewed? Do you see white fighters being interviewed and these same motherfuckers is like such and such said this about you and such and such? Nope. No, they might make mentions like, yeah, I talked to such and such and he said he don't think it's going the distance or something like that. But I mean, like, you don't be hearing oh, so Lomachenko, Inoue said that, you're not on his level and that you're overrated, you're a bum fighter. But no, they don't do that. They don't do that. You don't see them going to Manny Pacquiao saying this person, that person is. Notice, they always say, why do you think Floyd don't want to fight you? Or are you interested in fighting? Because they can't say Floyd said this or Floyd that. Floyd is responding to questions that somebody asked him or they'll make a comment trying to tell him, oh, Floyd, Pacquiao, this. They're trying to get a reaction. But my point, what I'm saying is, they want to try to help them uphold the squeaky clean image, but they want to, when it comes to black people, yo, you know what that nigga said about you? What? What did he say? Yo, Ice Cube, what did he say? You know, he said this, he said that, he said that, he said this. And now, like a dumbass, you used to, the motherfucker, this is what I'm saying. And I'm glad that Claressa, like I said, didn't sit there and allow him to play her like a damn instrument just to get a fucking cheesy ass interview. Because pretty much, I don't put trust in none of them, man. They ask questions, man. It's like I said, when it's a touchy situation, you don't do that shit. If I know two people that don't get along, I'm not asking nobody nothing. Yo, man, so what is it going to take? Nah, we don't even know. Simple. There's no solution, no resolution. We're not going to do that. And more people should be like that. But anyway, I salute Claressa. I salute Caroline Dubois for the stance that they take. It would be cool if Alicia Baumgardner, man, would get it up in here to understand that these people are, you think they care about you. They don't care about you. They don't care about your sexy body. They don't care about none of that, your muscles, nothing. How they don't care about that. They're getting something out of you right now. I believe one of the biggest differences between Claressa Shields and a Caroline Dubois and Alicia Baumgardner is mentality. Like, they will probably leave this sport whenever they do, understanding that these people only care about what they can get out of you. Whereas Alicia Baumgardner is probably going to really be believing that these people actually give a damn about her. And they don't give a damn about you. They only care about what they can get out of you. And when you don't realize, they're trying to put you and Claressa against each other, not as competitors in the ring, but as two black women that hate each other outside the ring. And they know that there's never going to be a fight between y'all. They knew it never was going to be a fight. And even if they thought it was possible of happening, asking personal questions and stirring up the pot, y'all, I always hear women talk about how I'm an independent black woman. Well, stop acting so fucking dumb and understand that these people, I don't care what you feel about a person, personally, that's done nothing to you. First off, you just saying stuff and acting off of an emotion where we all saw who threw the, we saw what you did, but we seen that. And we know that was all cap. And this is where I'm saying, a lot of times y'all be caring about black folks that don't give a fuck about black folks. That's why I said it would be cool if she would get on board and understand these people are playing you, man. Let me ask you something, Alicia, and anybody else for that matter, any other black fighter. You think that you're being embraced right now by the Mexican community or the Puerto Rican community or the British community or the Irish community? Do you think that you're being supported by that? You think that when you walk away from this sport of boxing that you can go live in any one of them countries and they're going to treat you like an equal? Do you think that they're not racist towards you? Do you not realize what you're a part of here, what you are? Just like so many black people, they let you know that they don't see you as nothing but some type of nigga. You a sexy nigga to them, you're an ugly nigga to them, you're an educated nigga to them, you're an uneducated nigga to them. Whatever it is, you still got that title nigga attached to you, to these racist ass people. Racist America don't want black power, they don't want black unity. Stop letting them play y'all out. I'm done.